Hello, this is Billy Core from the Nostalgia Mall, and today is my 30th birthday. I was born at 11:30 a.m. on November 27th of 1989 in Greensboro, North Carolina. The #1 song in America that day was Blame It on the Rain by Milli Vanilli and... Wait, this video is getting kind of self-indulgent. I don't want that. What am I, one of the Paul brothers? I better come up with something else for this video. Ugh. Okay, so what we're actually going to be doing in this video is something I've been planning in my head for a good while now, I guess. You know, you've got an old computer like this right here. What are you going to use it for? Obviously, you can't do any modern gaming on it. You can't browse a lot of websites on it anymore. So what can you do if you have an old computer lying around and you want to put it to use? Well, in this video I'll give you a few ideas of what you can do with a vintage computer. The computer we're going to be using in this video is my Ultimate Packard Bell build that I did about a month or two ago. This computer features a AMD K62 clocked at 400 megahertz, a 32 gig SD card, for a hard drive replacement, that is, 256 megs of RAM, and an ATI Rage video card. And all this is being housed in this Packard Bell sleeper case that's been shown on this channel many times. Okay, the first thing I want to show that you can do on a computer like this is internet browsing. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Billy, internet browsing on a 20-year-old computer, were you dropped on your head as a child? Well, yes, and it is possible with just a few select websites. So you got to be careful with this. You cannot watch YouTube videos on this, for one thing, and anything HTTPS based is not going to load on an old browser. And even if it could, everything would just bog your system down to the point where it's just unusable. And you can see I've opened up the home page I have set, which is theoldnet.com. I did a more in-depth video on this website earlier this year, but basically it's a website designed specifically for vintage computers like this. And it gives you kind of a portal to various websites that work on old internet browsers like this, and old computers, I should say. And it also gives you a portal to the Internet Wayback Machine, which lets you browse websites as they looked back in the old days. For a quick example, we'll go to the Packard Bell website in 1996. Okay, don't alert me. And aside from some images that aren't loading, the website loads just fine. And you also have access to other websites like epicgames.com from 1996, with one of my favorite games being featured, Firefight. And I forgot to mention the operating system on this computer. It's Windows 98 2nd Edition with the 98 Lite program running, which gives me the Windows 95 style interface. And another website that I was on yesterday, which is really neat and runs on old computers like this just fine, is the Old Time Radio Researchers Group Library, which features tons and tons of old radio programs from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. And I discovered yesterday that they play just fine on this computer. They're all in MP3 format. So I can just give you a quick little example here with just a quick little radio ad. They have a section on here for radio commercials. Just gotta remember where it is. Okay, I wasn't able to find the radio ads, but I figured, you know what, this stuff is probably public domain anyway, so I shouldn't have any trouble playing this. Here's the Jack Benny program from November 23rd, 1941, I believe his Thanksgiving show. Let it load up here. I think it's going to load through QuickTime.
The Jell-O program brought to you by Jell-O and Jell-O Pudding, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with One on the House. The biggest dessert news in years. That's what folks everywhere are calling Jell-O's new locked-in flavor. Never has Jell-O tasted so rich and delicious. Today, it's even better than ever, and all because of a wonderful new process that locks in all of Jell-O's grand flavor. Keeps it from fading, keeps it at full strength till the moment you use it.
We'll never know what that process was because I turned it off. That's depressing. Another thing you can do with a vintage computer is desktop publishing. I've got a copy of Microsoft Publisher 98 on here, and despite this computer's age, you can still create publisher documents such as newsletters, brochures, flyers, signs, postcards, and greeting cards. Where are the greeting cards? Oh, there they are. And as you can see right here, I'm with the greeting card wizard. I'm creating a Thanksgiving greeting card because Thanksgiving is tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. If you'd like to use a suggested verse, click Browse. Happy Thanksgiving. May your blessings be many on this holiday of thanks. We'll go with that. That sounds innocent enough. And we can hide the wizard right there. And we can also add our own little message there. Don't get a turkey bone stuck in your... Okay, so let's say you wanted to print this. Well, you know, it's kind of hard to find printers that'll work on a computer running Windows 98. Well, if you look around hard enough and you're lucky enough, you can find an old printer that'll work, especially if it's a LaserJet from Hewlett-Packard, like this one, the Hewlett-Packard LaserJet 5P, which works brilliantly with this computer. Of course, it'll only do black and white, but who cares? This thing is a workhorse. I actually did a video about this printer itself a couple of months ago. I highly recommend you checking that out. So, I just sent the job to the printer. Give it a minute to warm up. This printer was built in 1995 and is still running beautifully. I only paid $15 for this at a thrift store the other month. So definitely a good bargain there. Also works with Macs as well. But I don't have a Mac that will work with this printer, unfortunately. And there's our card, ready to be folded. And here we are. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, from the world of black and white. Now, a big thing that you can still do on an old computer like this is word processing. On this computer, I've got Microsoft Word 97 on here. I turned the paperclip off, of course. because that's something I'm not grateful for this Thanksgiving. And I even typed up a little thing on here to demonstrate it. And one big thing that I'm planning to do, probably with this particular computer actually, is write my novel on it. This is going to be a sci-fi comedy novel. I don't want to go into details on what the plot is going to be because I don't want anyone stealing my ideas before I get the thing written, but I'm hoping to get something started on it very, very soon. I keep procrastinating on it. I feel bad about that, but I have written the outline for it, and I'm hoping to get something done on it very, very soon. So I will keep you guys up to date on that. Also, you will receive added points if you can guess where I got the lyrics for the song that I wrote from. It's very obscure, but points if you do know where it came from. Another big thing you can do on a computer like this is media playback, namely music. Some computers that are old are capable of playing DVDs, but this one is not. But we can still play audio files, especially MIDI files. And there are still websites around where you can download MIDI files. Some websites you can actually browse on an old computer like this. And of course, one thing that you can always do is listen to audio CDs like this. So we'll go ahead and pop this in the drive. And by the way, that drive tray is working just fine now. Doesn't get stuck anymore. I guess it needed to be used a little bit to be put in its place. Alright, here we go. Copyright! 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 Next thing you can do on an old computer like this is experimentation. Since this is an old computer and you're not going to have important files on here, like your tax information and stuff like that, you can tinker around with the operating system and do stuff that you would be too much of a wimp to do on your main modern computer. You can do stuff like, I don't know, delete the system folder, which I'm not. And once I find it, you can tinker around with your registry settings. You can do all kinds of scary stuff in the registry. And of course, the most important thing you can do on a vintage computer like this is play games. Because this was back in the day when they were shooting out so many good games everywhere. Especially Earthworm Jim, like this one we're playing right now. And a computer like this, it's a has some late 90s hardware in it, so you can run pretty much anything on it from the 90s. Maybe even a few from the 80s as well, from the DOS era. And speaking of the DOS era, there's plenty of DOS games to choose from, like this one, Epic Pinball. And all of these games are available on various abandonware sites like Abandonia, Archive.org. Highly recommend checking those places out if you want to get a copy of some of these games for free. And that'll just about do it for this video. I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone watching this, whether you're celebrating it or not. I am very grateful and thankful this year for all of my subscribers, all of you who are watching these videos. I owe everything to you guys for giving me the motivation to make videos like this. So, happy Thanksgiving, and until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off. Thank you for visiting the Nostalgia Mall. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also support me on Patreon if you would like. The link to all of these are down below. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off.